Hi, everybody, and welcome to a brand new week of Proline. And we get it started with the recap edition. We'll take a look at some of the things that happened this past weekend in football and look ahead to the holiday week. And it's loaded. Jim Feist is here. I'm Dave Cokin. Before we get to anything, we'll tell you about some specials we've got for the holiday. I never come on here and throw the BS around. When I'm doing well, I definitely want to tell you about it and brag a little bit. That doesn't always happen, and it did not happen this weekend. I had a bad weekend in football. Saturday was my worst day of the college football season. Okay on Sunday, but I lost the big game of the Rams. So, it just was not a good weekend. Fortunately, salvaged some with the 49ers on Monday night. The basketball I'm pretty happy with, and there's going to be a lot of action in basketball coming up. Pretty pleased with the way things are going there, and a lot of volume. So you guys like a lot of plays, definitely want to get in touch with me for basketball. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 5 days of my under-the-hat plays in all 4 sports, the NFL, college football, the NBA, and college hoops. That's at least a dozen plays. It'll be more than that in all likelihood, but I'll put a minimum of a dozen plays over 5 days for $19, less than $2 a play. Try this out. You're going to make some money. 1-866-896-1629. That's 1-866-896-1629. And the free plays, by the way, a free play every day on tape. These have been exceptional. Well over 60% for the entire calendar year, which is ridiculous. Quite frankly, some of the plays have gotten lucky, but, hey, I'll take it. 1-888-712-6800. There's a free play on tape every single day. Or you can get it sent via text message to your cell phone. Just text Cokin, C-O-K-I-N, to 313131. It's as easy as that. You can also get Jim's free play, by the way, every day. Oh, same method. Just text WINNER, W-I-N-N-E-R, 313131. And you get a free play from a world champion handicapper every day. Jim, you've got the big turkey shoot coming up this weekend. This is an annual thing, and it's all kinds of stuff. NFL, college football, college hoops, NBA, all at one low price.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, everybody knows that, Thanksgiving is football and turkey and family and all the stuffing and the, it's a nice time of the year. To me, it's not just about betting football. I mean, I do it, and of course I expect to win and usually do. But, I know I speak for a lot of people out there that are hurting. They still have things to be thankful for. I know it's hard sometimes to focus on those things because, you may have just lost your house in New York or New Jersey or your job if you worked at Hostess Cupcakes or whatever it's called. There's a lot of negativity in our country right now. I don't want to focus on that, but I do want to say that we recognize it, and we feel for anybody that's out there that's hurting, whether it be medical issues or financial issues. But we also have things to be thankful for. We're still out there battling, and if you're not doing as well as you'd like to, keep your chin up. Good things are probably coming. And hopefully they're coming from what Dave and I just brought to you today. And we have a big football and basketball turkey shoot, as Dave mentioned, is $29. Excuse me for looking over here to the side because I have my notes over here. One of my computers is busted, so I can't have the screen in front of me. But all of my plays, my executive plays in football and basketball through Monday, that's NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, all 4 sports. It's a bonanza of 4 sports. It will include a high roller play going tonight. It's a $500 value just for that one play. Plus, college game of the year, college total of the year this weekend, all for $29 at 1-866-841-1655. And make sure to check out JimFeist.tv for a lot of good information each and every day throughout the college and pro seasons. Dave, back to you.
Well, let's start talking about what I think is a fascinating situation for Jim Harbaugh at this point. The 49ers, Alex Smith had to sit out Monday's game with the after effects of his concussion. Colin Kaepernick, who is a guy I personally have always liked, got to see a lot of him, playing in Reno, and I think he's a heck of a prospect. But boy, oh boy, he got way ahead of the curve in that game last night. And credit to Harbaugh, because he came out and he really, you would have thought, well, maybe he's going to run, pass on third down, keep it conservative. He didn't. Came out firing, and Kaepernick dissected one of the best defenses in the league, just tore them apart. So now, what does Jim Harbaugh do? He's got a starting quarterback who, while he's not in the Brady mold, is, a pretty decent guy. They've won a lot of games with Alex Smith at quarterback since Harbaugh arrived. Forget everything before that, because it really doesn't matter. They sucked when Mike Singletary was there. They weren't good on anything. So I'm not putting Alex Smith's bad performances in that time frame on Alex Smith as much as on what the 49ers were providing him with. Since Harbaugh arrived, he's been a pretty good quarterback. But you also could see last night that they are potentially a much more explosive offense with Colin Kaepernick at quarterback. I think this is a really tough decision for Harbaugh at this point. I think it's easy to sit here and say, that's it. Start Kaepernick. He's better. I don't know about that. That's just not that easy a call. And I think Harbaugh was very reticent to say what he was going to do. He said, I want to go with the hot hand. I've got two hot hands right now. What would you do, Jim?
I don't think it's a decision that's that difficult at all. I was never a professional athlete. I did some things at a very high level, but they were individual sports, that I didn't have that problem of getting hurt and being replaced. There's no player in any sport that's on a team that wants to lose their job as a result of an injury. You're playing well and you get hurt. Somebody else comes in and plays well, as well or better. In this case, a very short period, one game. And then you lose your job. Now, I know this has happened over time. Tom Brady got his job that way and never sat down again. But in this case, you got a quarterback coach. He's a coach that was a quarterback, Jim Harbaugh. He knows what it's like to be a pro athlete and what people think. Now, that clubhouse, it goes deeper than this. The clubhouse, all those guys in there don't want to lose their job if they get hurt. They don't want to feel like they have that gun to their head that, I have an injury this week. Somebody comes in, I never see the field again. So, when you look at Alex Smith, he's not an A quarterback. He's a B quarterback. He really doesn't have that much upside going forward, but he has done the job you asked him to do. He has a very high completion rate. He has his winning percentage with this team. Granted, it's a run team with a great defense, but what he has done got them to the championship game last year. If they didn't have a guy in there replacing somebody else that turned the ball over a couple times, they'd have been in the Super Bowl. And the way they were playing, they might have very well been world champions. I can't take anything away from Alex Smith for what he's done. He's been asked to do something, and he's done it, and he's done it well. He's proven himself. There is no reason in this world to bench him. None. Because if you do that, you're going to lose half your clubhouse. Half those guys in there, or at least half the guys in there, like Alex Smith because he works hard. He's got a nice personality. They like him. Now, they're saying, hey, he lost his job and he was doing good. That's going to happen. I don't respect my coach anymore. That's what happens. And it's not the same as what's happening in Jacksonville. Gabbert hasn't performed. The team has not been winning. The new owner is replacing everybody at the end of the year. Hell, he's trading players now in the middle of the year. Gabbert gets a little banged up. Henne comes in, who has a lot more experience than Gabbert anyway, and he plays pretty well against one of the best teams in football. There's absolutely no question in my mind that Henne should be the quarterback next week because Gabbert has not performed and the team has not been doing well. So they're probably, you could argue, but they might be the best team in football right now, or at least the best team in the NFC. Because you knock the Bears out of that contention because they look like crap right now and they don't have a quarterback. So I don't think you change what looks to be a very, very solid team Super Bowl contender, definitely NFC championship caliber. In Jacksonville, there's absolutely no question you make the change.
Yeah, the tough part for me is, and I think for Jim Harbaugh is, you see what Kaepernick brings to the table. He can do more. I mean, they're a Super Bowl contender with Alex Smith. I don't think there's any question about that. They might just be the best team in football with Colin Kaepernick. This is tough to me. Because Kaepernick can be an A-level quarterback, which not too many guys can be. It's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out this weekend, because I would assume Alex Smith will be okay. He almost was able to go last night. And I'm going to be really interested to see what they do here. They didn't win. They didn't just win last night. They beat the crap out of the Bears. Now, granted, that was a Bears team without Jay Cutler, and their backup quarterback isn't very good. Campbell's bounced around, and he's strictly a backup, and actually not really a very good backup at this point.
I would like to add something else to the consideration. And this is more of a question than a statement. I know my position on it. But if you bench Alex Smith, and this guy's like a 70% completion record. He's only completed like 51% of his passes, but there have been games. He was 18 out of 19 a few weeks ago. I mean, I think that was against Arizona or something. But he has performed very well. Their running game is solid. Their defense is solid. Everything about this team is solid. But if you replace him right now, first of all, that takes his confidence level right down from probably upper the 80-90% down to 0. A lot of guys are saying that shouldn't have been done. There's a lot of controversy in the clubhouse. Screw the media. They don't get on the field and play. Just ignore the media. But if you replace him now and then Kaepernick doesn't perform and they end up blowing a game here or there because of his style of football, he's going to make mistakes and make turnovers. That's one thing Alex Smith doesn't do. He doesn't put the defense in bad situations. That's one of the reasons their defense looks so good, because they don't get in bad situations because he doesn't turn the ball over. Some of the running backs, Gore will fumble it or something, yes, or a wide receiver will drop it. But he manages the game. The defense and the running game then takes over. So if Kaepernick comes in there and they blow a game or two, and then they go back to Smith, party's over, buddy. Done. He's done. You just cooked his confidence level.
Oh, but all
the
right.
whole team is screwed up.
Let me throw something at you. They tried to pick up Peyton Manning in the offseason. They did. I mean, they made a big run at Peyton Manning. He chose Denver instead. So doesn't that shake up Alex Smith? I mean, it's like he's not going to be the long-term quarterback for San Francisco.
Dave, if a young kid walked in the office today and says, I'm a better handicapper than Dave Cokin, you say, screw you. I've been around 40 years. I know all the ins and outs of this. You still have to prove yourself. You don't have to please replace me with Peyton Manning. He's the best maybe that ever played the game.
But what I'm
Colin
saying is,
Kaepernick is a college player that's never played in the NFL. You replaced me with a guy that's unproven? That's way different than being replaced by Peyton Manning. I say yes. If you can get Peyton Manning, I'll be the backup to Peyton. Thank you. I want to be that.
What I'm saying is that I don't think that the 49ers, particularly Jim Harbaugh, have ever had great confidence in Alex Smith.
Everybody knows.
And remember
everybody
this.
knows that.
Harbaugh is the one who pushed hard to get Kaepernick in the draft last year. He wanted him. He really likes him. I think he also only gave Alex Smith a 1-year contract. Yep.
Okay, so we all know, and Alex Smith knows, that he is not an A quarterback. But he hasn't done anything to lose his job. They're not losing games.
No, but neither did, if you brought up Brady and Bledsoe, neither did Bledsoe. He was still a pretty good football player. And along came Brady, and it's like, you know what? This guy's just better. We're going with Brady. And it worked out pretty well because the Patriots won that Super Bowl. I think Kaepernick's going to be the starting quarterback moving forward. We'll see. It's going to be fun to watch. This is.
I'll bet you, Dave. I'll bet you $20 he's not.
All right,
unless
for $20, I wouldn't go more than that on this because I'm not real confident on it.
The problem is this: if you have an edge here, if Alex Smith still has the concussion issues, it's an out for Harbaugh to say Colin Kaepernick's the quarterback. So that is a potential out. It may very well be the case. He could. They got a big game next week. They're going against somebody that's going to put some points up, and they're going to have to perform on the road, off a Monday night game, in a hostile environment, one of the noisiest stadiums there is, against a team that's hungry as hell with a tremendous revenge situation. Granted, a very weak defense.
And they're playing lousy right now.
The total on that, if Kaepernick plays, the total might be 70. But if Alex Smith, you know what you're going to get with Alex Smith. So I say that Jim Harbaugh, being a former pro quarterback, knowing what it's like to lose your job to an injury, won't do that. Unless, I don't think he'll do that. I think everybody that I watch on TV, all these talking heads, all these athletes, the consensus is it would be a big mistake.
All right, what the hell? For $20, I'll take a shot. Okay, let's look ahead to Thursday. This has annually been. Here's the question: do we start to approach handicapping Thanksgiving Day game differently than a normal Sunday? Because I got to tell you, Jim, if you've been on the wise guy, the supposedly sharp guy sides over the last several Thanksgivings, you have gotten the turkey stuffed right up your keister. It has been a huge square day over the past several years. And I think there's a rationale for this. I think that the short week for all these teams, I think the better teams have better preparation methods that come into play in these. How many years have we seen the wise guys take the Lions as home dogs, and they get stuffed year after year? I will tell you right now, I don't normally give away my plays on this show. There is no chance I'm playing against Houston in that game. I haven't decided whether it's a big play or not, but I am absolutely on the chalk in that game. I know they'll be the popular side. They're going to win. Houston's going to win the football game. To me, it's really difficult to go in. I know it's kind of an irrational way to look at things. Well, just because it's happened the past years doesn't mean it's. But it just keeps happening year after year. And to me, Thanksgiving Day has become a public bettor's paradise, and I might just, if you can't beat them, join them.
But, Dave, the problem with first of all, the short week, short preparation, Houston's got to travel, Washington's got to travel, New England's got to travel. Detroit and Dallas both played at home last week, so they don't have any travel at all. The Jets played on the road, so they do have to travel, but they do it earlier in the week because that's when they go there. The coaching, I'm not a big fan of the Detroit head coach. I'm not a big fan of the Chicago Bears coaching staff, especially their offensive coordinator. So when you look, you're getting much better coaching from the Patriots than you do from the Jets. And what can I say about, I don't know who the hell coaches the Dallas Cowboys, probably the guy up in the box with the white hair, but, not the guy on the sidelines, but they're an enigma. But all the travel issues, the short week issues, the injury issues, all the things that go into the short week, especially this is down to 10 weeks into the season. So you got a lot of Gronkowski gets hurt last week, so now they're playing without him. This is going on all over the league, but these short weeks are a bugger because these guys are big, they're strong, they're fast, they get hit hard. I heard one guy say, Colin Cowherd was asking someone on the show today, what did it feel like the day after your game? And these are big, strong guys. He said it felt like you got hit by a truck, because you're getting hit by a truck with all these they're big guys, are big, strong people. And you know how you feel after you have a car accident? You feel whiplash and you feel headaches and all. These guys are getting hit all the time. It's a tough sport. It's probably going to have to change. But anyway, that's another story. But, you do have to look at these games a little bit differently. Quite frankly, the Sharps have been getting killed, Dave. The books are dying on Sundays. They got killed again this week.
Let me tell you something.
All the squares are playing. I've got a guy comes in.
I was going to say, it's a good thing San Diego scored that garbage touchdown at the end of the game, because they were looking at getting annihilated on those late afternoon games. All favorites, all overs. If that touchdown doesn't get in, that would have been a disaster. You know what? I don't care. They've made enough money. I like it better when the public wins.
Well, I generally don't, because I'm usually not on the public side.
Okay.
But,
what I'm saying is, I don't want to hear them bitching and moaning.
You're talking against yourself. If the public wins, they're not going to want to buy your service.
No. And here's the thing. I just don't want to hear it. And this drives me crazy. I don't want to hear the books bitching and moaning. Oh, we got killed. Shut up, all right? Please shut up.
Well, because they're crying all the way to the bank, right?
Yeah.
We got to talk about last week's stuff a little bit. There's some interesting things. I mean, this Philadelphia Eagle team is an absolute horrendous. Oh my God. Everybody blame Michael Vick, and I'm not a Michael Vick fan, but Andy Reid has lost this team. God almighty. They have way too much talent to play like that. I don't care who they play. They never showed up. I mean, the Washington Redskins aren't that great. I mean, they have the big name quarterback. The Detroit Lions lose. I mean, the calls that coaching staff made at the end of that game, horrendous decisions by the Lions in that game. Horrendous. Tampa Bay, you got Sirianni. I mean, he's come out of Rutgers. He has turned that franchise around. Disaster again in Carolina. They can't put their pieces together. You talk about a sophomore slump. Whew. That quarterback there just can't get it done. The Cleveland Browns keep playing tough football. They cover spreads. I mean, they just can't quite get it done.
They can't finish the drive.
In Dallas, I don't know what to say about Dallas. What's that?
Cleveland can't finish the drive.
Are they too young? Is it the coaching? What is it? The youth? Is it the coaching? What is it?
I guess they're just not good enough. I mean, they just don't have enough good players. That's a silly, kind of simple-minded explanation, but they just don't have, Trent Richardson's really the only playmaker on the offense, and he's not the explosive type. They're really good between the 20s, but once it gets down to the red zone, forget it. You can stop them.
Yeah, they're a disaster. What the hell happened? I mean, I'm going to even pass talking about Dallas, because I'm tired of ragging on Dallas. I can't figure them out. But what about the Jets? How the hell did they pull off that big a victory at St. Louis? What is going on? This is a Jeff Fisher coached team, and the Rams, they looked horrible.
Well, I honestly believe this, and believe me, I didn't like it because I thought the Rams would win the game. They're up 7-0, and they've got a chance to do more damage, and Sam Bradford was really bad, really bad. A pick, a fumble. You cannot fumble in scoring range. I thought Sam Bradford single-handedly turned the game around, and then the Jets got some momentum. And look, Mark Sanchez played a really good game on Sunday. Got to give him credit where it's due. He actually played a hell of a game.
From time to time, I mean, he has had some good games. He is a pro athlete with a lot of talent. And it's his talent. I mean, the team isn't that talented, but he has talent. I don't think he's yet developed into an A quarterback, and he may never. I don't know. If he was on a good team with talented wide receivers, a good running game, and especially a good offensive line, which I want to discuss that with you a little bit. But he occasionally has had some good games. This week they're going to host New England, which is going to be interesting. because there's a hell of a rivalry. I mean, Belichick and Rex Ryan are at each other's throats all the time. The Colts got their ass handed to them last week. I mean, gave up 59 points, and quite frankly, you talk about a quarterback that played poorly. Andrew Luck made a lot of bad decisions and bad throws in that game. He was really not very well. Jacksonville played the game of their life. Henning made a big difference, but I happen to think Houston was looking ahead to this Thanksgiving game.
No question.
This was a team they had beaten earlier, handled them, and I don't think they were up for that game. I think they were lackadaisical, only played when they had to, and I think Jacksonville took advantage of that. So what I'm saying is that is a one game that you should probably ignore in your handicapping. Jacksonville's not that good, and Houston's not that bad by a long shot. Cincinnati, Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City needs to change coaches. Romeo Cornell has done a terrible job there. Everything about that franchise, just like some of the others, like Philadelphia, they have to change everything. I'm just kidding. The Saints, look out for the Saints. This team, granted, they didn't beat anybody, and the Raiders are a mess, just like some of the other clubs I've mentioned. But this Saint team is a very good team. They've got a lot of talent on this team. If they can put anything together on defense, you are not going to stop this team from scoring. They have so much talent. And Drew Brees is a master at quarterback. He knows he's up in that Brady, Peyton Manning. He's there, and he has a ton of weapons. The Chargers, and that's just a mess. 5-6 years ago, when they got rid of Marty Schottenheimer, this whole franchise went in the toilet. And A.J. Smith and Turner and maybe even the owner all have to get flushed down that toilet if they ever want to turn things around. Denver's playing great. They lose McGahee. That's a huge loss for them. They got to have balance on their running game. The Ravens, I don't know what Pittsburgh, they took advantage of a Pittsburgh team without much quarterbacking. And, of course, now they're down to the third string quarterback in Pittsburgh with their Batch, because Leftwich got hurt as well. So
he gets hurt too,
Dave, these injuries in this league are really piling up, and it's really turning the league into very mediocre stuff. I mean, what do they do? I mean, how do you protect these guys from these massive hits that they take?
Well, they're trying, but there's no easy solution. And I'm glad it's not my job to figure it out, because I sure don't know the answer. Ed Reed's being suspended for what to me is a shaky call, but that's you know what? That's why I like doing what we're doing. Just size them up with the information we have in front of us and try and make the best possible decisions. And hopefully we can continue to do that more often than not. That's all I can say about it. I'm not going to sweat the rules, because, quite honestly, I don't have the answers as far as that goes. I do know this: we've run about 25 minutes in here, so let's let people get back to work. But we want to tell you what we've got going this weekend, and spend the holidays with us. You won't be able to do it literally. In my case, that's a good thing. You would not want to eat my cooking, but I think I can provide you with some winners that'll increase your appetite. This is a good lineup. I've got 5 days of my under-the-hat plays in all 4 sports: NFL, college football, NBA, college hoops. And, again, I'm not going to blow smoke up anybody's butt. I had a bad weekend last weekend in football. I generally don't have 2 in a row, so you want to be on my side this weekend. The basketball is fine. That's going to continue to do well. Take advantage of this. 5 big days of plays, a minimum of a dozen selections for only $19. 1-866-896-1629. And Jim, you've got the turkey shoot, and it's all 4 sports, and it includes a real big play going tonight.
It does. We've got a $500 play going tonight, Dave. And a lot of people buy this. It's $500. They monster winning situations. I'm going to include that in my big package. This is a 4-sport bonanza package, including my $500 play going tonight. It's all for $29 at 1-866-841-1655. You can also check it out right here online at jimfeist.tv. It's 4 4 sports, football, basketball, turkey shoot, $29. You play all my executive plays in football and basketball, pro and college. That's right through Monday. 1-866-841-1655, $29. Come on, join on and win with me. We're going to collect it next Tuesday. We'll be fat and sassy.
Don't forget, we got 2 more editions of Proline coming up this week, college and pro football. We'll have those online in plenty of time for the holiday. So we won't even wish you happy Thanksgiving now because we know you're going to come back and watch those 2 Prolines, get the lowdown on some of the best games this weekend. So for Jim, I'm Dave. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.